Just doing a quick sound check, guys. I think that worked. Heard myself. All right, so just wanted to let you guys know there might be a little toddler screaming every now and then, but he is trying to get to sleep. And I think if some of you guys were here yesterday's tutorial, especially the level 2 one, you know why I kind of came out late. So guys, we're going to get started with this rearranging tutorial today. So we're mainly looking at rearranging equations. So what we have is we're going to start off with some real simple ones, and then finally, eventually we're going to look at a question that could potentially look like this, where we have something like 2 over r minus 3 divided by, what do we got, t over r equals to t. So something ugly like this is what we're going to be going towards the end. So as always, what I'll do is I'll do one question and then I'll give you guys a slightly different variation of that question, so you guys can actually have a go at it. Most of these kind of equations I kind of just make up on the spot, or just look up on the internet for just different variety of types of questions. So what I'm also going to say to you guys is with each question I'm going to put a bracket at the end of it, just to say that that's the letter I want you guys to rearrange, so that that letter is there by itself. Okay, so we will start with question A here. Now I have particularly chosen physics formulas from level 2 and level 1 because that's something that's been coming up in the MCAT exam in the last couple of years, where they're giving physics formulas and asking you to rearrange those formulas. So I will look up a couple of them, and we'll actually do a couple of those formulas, so that you guys also are comfortable with rearranging these when you see them in physics next year, if you're doing that. So these are all the ones from physics from level 2, I believe, but they are they're pretty worth it in terms of knowing how to do them around. And one other one that I wanted to do from physics. Yeah, Corin, these are all these are all level 2 physics formulas, but they actually end up coming in level 1 MCATs. I've seen a couple of physics formulas come in the last couple of years, so it's just pretty handy to kind of keep it, know how to do these ones. And question C, I've picked it up before. Where was it? There we go. So I'm going to go through each question, guys, and then we'll actually do something very similar to it. Okay, so with the first question, as always, I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to just try it out by yourself. And if you're, give it a go. So have a go with question A. What you're trying to do is you're trying to rearrange all these terms so that A is by itself on either the left-hand side or the right-hand side. And what I'll do is I'll go through the answers in about 1 minute time. So guys, starting this week Sunday, we'll be increasing the number of streams as well, but we'll start going towards people's viewer questions. So if people have questions, then you guys can send them through, and then rather than me making individual videos, I'll just go through it during the live streams. All right, so the way rearranging works is this. I'm actually going to go through one of this, and then so you guys get the hang of it, and then we can try a couple on your own. So the way rearranging works is this. Right now, I want to make A the subject of the formula, or what you want to do is you want to write A by itself. Okay. Now, all the rules that you follow for solving linear equations is pretty much you follow the same rules here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of, the first thing I'm going to get rid of is the v1t. So when I take that, I'm going to take the whole thing to the other side, which means it's going to become d minus v of 1t. All right. Now this is all equal to half at squared. The next thing I want to get rid of is the 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 across to d minus v1 over t. And when I do that, it's going to be ending up looking like this. So 2 multiplied by d minus v1 of t equals at squared. So once again, remember that I'm trying to keep a by itself, and I'm trying to get rid of everything else. Now, as for the 1, well, 1 does come to the denominator, but we don't really care about it because 1 times at squared is just at squared. Then we're just one more step away from finishing this question. So we're going to get rid of the t squared, which means we're going to bring it to the other side. It'll become divide. So this is all 2 times bracket d minus v1 of t divided by t squared. So as always, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting up some line numbers, and if there is anything that you particularly don't understand, then feel free to actually talk to me about it. Now, Cheyenne, you probably have not, it's not that you have not done this. I mean, if you've done linear equations, like solving linear equations, you've done this, but it's just, the only thing is in these things, you don't actually solve for the equation. You just rearrange the equation so that the letter is there by itself. Ansh, no, you don't need to expand anything in this case. Like, it's just rearranging, that's all. So, you know, you can expand it, but it doesn't matter. You can just leave it like the way I've done it in line 3. Okay, so would you guys like another question like similar to question A, or are you ready to go to question B? I think we can, I'm happy to give you guys another question similar to A. By the way, these skills that you guys learn with rearranging, it is going to help you with linear equations. Plus, if you're doing any kind of physics over the next couple of years, it'll also help you with that as well. All right. Quiet crowd today, but that's all right. I'm going to give you guys another question. What does the comma in between v and t mean? Okay, sorry. That's, I should have actually written it better. That's actually v of 1. There's a little subscript and it's just a 1. So it's just like writing writing like a letter with subscript on it. Sorry, Cheyenne, which line do you need help with? Because have a look through the lines of working that I've done and tell me which line you will need working with. And meanwhile, I will put up a part 2 of this question. So people that do want to try a different version of this question, you guys can actually have a go at it. So for those of you guys, if you guys want to try another question, you can try question A part 2. And once again, I want A as the subject. So I want you guys to rearrange A so A is there by itself. Yeah, that's pretty much right, Fictitious. It's just it's not a comma, it's actually a 1, but I've just written it like that. So what you want to do is with these equations, right? Like you want to actually have a by itself, and because you want to have a by itself, like I mean, let's go to question part 2. Samantha and Shayan, if you guys want to actually listen to how I'm going to show you guys to do with a part 2, I'll show you guys how it works. For question 1, does it stay t squared? Yep, t squared, because I'm not asking you to do for t, I'm only asking you for a. So nothing happens to t squared and it just comes down as it is. So how do we start something like this? That's a really good question. So if we have a look at this, in this equation, we've got a by itself. All right. If you've got a by itself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this question side by side so that you guys can see the steps that I'm actually taking. All right. So for example, if I have something like this, h is equal to, I'm not going to use h, I'm going to use another letter. A is equal to b plus c. And I want to make c the subject, like subject of the formula. Then what I've got to do is I've got to get rid of the b. So if you think about it, the a, it's like representing the h. The b part is everything that's xc. And then you've got the 3ac squared minus 4. That there is going to be the blue part there. So your next step is then you take away b, so you'd actually go a minus b is equal to c. So in the question, you've actually got to move xc to this side here. And so when we do that, it's going to become minus, so it'll become h minus xc, and then you have a look at what's actually on the right hand side. In the right hand side, you've got 3ac squared over 4. Okay, so that's our first step right there that we've just done. We've just get rid of that xc because it doesn't have any a at all, and we're trying to isolate a by itself. Then our next step is to get rid of the 4. So if we want to get rid of the 4, we've got to cross multiply it across. So that means this is going to end up looking like this, because the 4, when it is cross multiplied, you're going to end up with 4 multiplied by h minus xc, and that's equal to 3ac squared. So once again, what are we trying to isolate by itself? We're trying to isolate a by itself. Well, to be honest, Charlotte, like all I know is that there are, you kind of get any kind of equations that they put through. So the reason I actually chose these kind of equations is, I mean, if you do harder equations, then you end up with, if you get an easy equation, then you just kind of like fly through it. So yeah, Simranpreet, I don't know, because usually I ask you guys when you guys want calculus and algebra, and then depending on what people vote, I go for that. All right, so carrying on with this, we still are trying to isolate a by itself, which means we need to get rid of 3 and we need to get rid of c squared. And because they're all getting multiplied, you need to get rid of them to the other side. It'll become divide. So that means what we're going to end up getting is 4h minus xc divided by, we can actually move all of the both 3c squared, and we're left over with just a now. So what we've done is we've actually rearranged so that a is by itself. I reckon these questions will all be like either I would say probably merit, because it's like taking 2 steps. But let me just find out, because last year they had a physics question which was, just can't remember off the top. Oh, hang on, I think I had it here. Give me a second. I think it came right at, where was it? So this was a rearranging question that they had last year, which wasn't achieved. But I've seen one before that ends up being a merit. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm giving you guys pretty challenging ones at the moment to kind of work through. But I think, as I said, if you have a like, if you understand these ones, then you generally tend to kind of fly through the rest of them. What if you have an exponential equation with exponent being x and you have to make x the subject? Ansh, that only comes in level 2 algebra. How do you know that you can just put the 3c squared down below the 49? Okay, so this is Anna, if you want to have a look at this. So if I have something like this, 4x plus y equals to 3x times a. Like, in this case, if I want to get rid of the 3x, what I need to do is I need to divide both sides by 3x. And that means that cancels out. So that's basically what I've done. What I've really done is I've divided both sides by 3c squared. And then those 3c squareds get cancelled out, and you're left with a by itself. Charlotte, have a look at my playlist for this particular live tutorials. Like, I have a website set up which has live tutorials, and if you go there, I think, was it last week that we did? When did we do? I think it was last week we did some simultaneous equations. There you go. That's tutorial number 5 is when we did them. All right, are we okay with this type of question, and can we go on to the next one? Yeah, no, you wouldn't no, minus 3x and divide a. Yeah, sorry Colin, I'm not understanding your question there. Ooh, AMS, it's copyright issues, man. So, like, if you have yeah, if the paper has actually got like title on it, then I can potentially get into trouble for doing a video for that. But if how do I say, but if I basically, what I do is, like, if you do have questions, I usually say to people that take like screenshots or like take a picture of it and just send it to me, and then on an individual question, and then I can actually go through it as a viewer question, of course. All right, so we're going to go to question B here. I don't think that's going to get this hard, so I'm actually going to get rid of C for now. Okay, so what we have is, with question B, we're trying to find V by itself. Yeah, good job, Ams. So this time what we have is everything is getting multiplied here. All right, so we've got to get rid of the half, and we've got to get rid of the m. So I'm going to get rid of the 2 first. So when I bring 2 across to the other side, it'll become 2 multiplied by ek equals mv squared. Now remember that the 1 times mv squared, so it's just going to be mv squared. And again, I'm going to highlight this because it's like, this is what I'm trying to isolate by itself. So the next thing I need to get rid of is the m. And because m is getting multiplied with v squared, I can get rid of it on the other side by dividing it. So what I'm going to get is 2ek divided by m. And this is now equal to v squared. So, Corin, I think I'm hoping that it's actually not minus m, it should be divided by m, because remember, m is getting multiplied by v squared and it's not plus. So at this point we want to get rid of the squared sign, and if we want to get rid of the squared sign, we just put square root on the other side. So we're going to get 2ek over m, and square root of that equals to v. All right, any questions on question B so far? So once again, I'll put the lines up, line numbers. So if you guys do have any question, then you can ask me. Yeah, not sure why, guys, because on my end, I'm streaming it back to my computer and it doesn't seem to be having any issues. Another question like B for you guys, or are you happy with it? Like B or different one? Oh, another, please. Okay, sweet. All right, so now we're gonna start kind of moving away from the physics formulas and gonna start throwing some crazy formulas for you guys, and we'll actually go through it. Okay. So question C is this one here. So with question C, what I would like you guys to do is make X the subject. And I'm going to give you guys a similar one for D as well. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change these letters. So we're going to actually say, let's just actually go with the question letters as well. Yes, Cheyenne, I am here. Just be careful, man. Don't spam. Otherwise, what happens is my moderators will kick you out. Cool. I want to go through question C with you guys first. Now, look, remember I said to you guys, like, I actually wanted you guys to make X the subject. But the problem is X is actually on both 6X and XY, right? Because of that, what you need to do first is you need to factorize it. All right? Because X is a common factor in both 6X and XY, we're going to rewrite this as P equals to X. And we're going to take X out and put a bracket in there, which means we're going to get 6 plus Y. All right, so once we do that, our next step is we can actually get rid of the 6 plus y because x is actually getting multiplied by 6 plus y. So we can rearrange this as x equals to p divided by 6 plus y. And then that's basically it. We've actually rearranged for x so that x is by itself. And for question D, guys, what I wanted you guys to do is the letter D itself. So you want to factorize it so that D is, factorize it and then rearrange it. And I'm going to put question E there. Yeah, Cheyenne, different areas have different ways of doing this, man. So you can do it your own method, and if you find that you're getting the same answer, then you're good to go. Yeah, so I'm changing the questions, guys, so that, like, in the sense where if it's question D, I want you guys to rearrange for D. For question E, I want you guys to rearrange for E. So it just kind of makes it easier for us to kind of go through the questions. All right, so I'm going to go through question D now. So with D, what I'm noticing is I've got D as a common factor in both of the terms, which means I've got to take D out. And when I take D out, I'm going to get 6y plus 3. And then at this point, because 6y plus 3 is getting multiplied by D, I can move 6y plus 3 to the other side, which means I'm going to end up with P divided by 6y plus 3 equals to D. Brick Monster, I'm just having a look at your question here. What about the common factor of 3? It doesn't matter. You can leave the denominator as, you could leave it as that. You could put it as P of 3, 2y plus 1. You could do it like that as well. But the important thing is for D is having D by itself on the right hand side. So we don't need to worry about taking the 3 as a factor out. What else we've got? What is the subject for question E? Sorry, Crypto, that was going to be E. I know I kind of decided to change halfway through. Yep, that's right, Daniel. You just want D by itself, so you don't have to worry about factorizing the other side. All right, so I'm going to start going through question E for you guys. So as you can see, there's actually 2 E's, which means we're going to take E out as a common factor. And when we take E out as a common factor, we're going to have 2FG plus FH. And then we can rewrite this as D divided by 2FG plus FH. No, I don't think you can simplify it any further, Corin. That's basically it. Because remember, with rearranging questions, it's unless you are dealing with numbers, you can't really simplify that one further. I mean, if you can basically take F out as a common factor in the denominator, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in this case. But I can give you another question that'll... looks like my moderator got annoyed. All right, going through question F. Do you guys have any questions with E so far? F, you've got to expand the bracket, rearrange, and factorize. Well, moderator is basically, I've got a couple of people on the live chat. If people are like kind of spamming messages or like saying rude stuff, they automatically kick them out or give them a timeout of like 5 minutes where they can't send any messages. so that I can actually concentrate on helping you guys out. Yeah, and you really don't want to be messing with Mrs. Infinity plus 1. Because she is sometimes one of the moderators. All right, so let's go through f here. So to try and work out f, the first thing we've got to do is we've actually got to take f out of the bracket on the right hand side. So we've actually got to expand this bracket first, all right, before we do anything. So on the right hand side, I've got c plus 4ef equals, now j times c is jc, and then j times 2f is minus 2fj. Once again, if you guys have a look, we've got f on the left hand side, we've got f on the right hand side. So we want to try and bring both of those f's together on the left hand side. So we're going to write c plus 4ef. Now because it's minus 2fg, when it comes to the other side, it'll become plus 2fj, and this is now equal to jc. Once again, have a look where my f is. So there's an f there, and there's another f there. I don't really need that c. I can get rid of the c to the right hand side. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4ef plus 2fj equals jc, and of course it's going to become minus c because it's positive c on the left hand side. When I bring it to the right hand side, it's going to become minus c. Now we go and do what we did in question, what was it? CDE. We look at f, and f is a common factor. We're going to take f out, and we're going to get 4e plus 2j equals jc minus c. And at this point, we can actually get rid of the 4e plus 2j by writing this as jc minus c divided by 4e plus 2j. Okay, so that was question F. Now I'm going to put up some line numbers as always. Let me know if there's a particular line that you guys don't understand. And I'm happy to help you guys out. What's the hardest we'll go for today? What's the time? 8 o'clock. Well, we can start picking up the pace, because I mean, if you guys are good with this, then we're going to start doing some fraction rearranging ones. So let me know, guys. Are you guys happy with F? Do you guys want another question like F? So hang on. C equals JC. No, hang on. You can't do that, Ansh, because JC doesn't actually have a F next to it. Because even in what you actually wrote, if you look at what you wrote in that first line, you said I did C equals JC. So JC doesn't actually have an F, which means you can't factorize that with F. So therefore your therefore your answer won't actually work out. This question I reckon is a merit. Cool, so I'm going to give you guys another one like this, but I'm going to step it up one more step. One more step like this. So we're going to do question G, and I will leave it here so that you guys can actually see the working out. Yeah, it's fine. I'll leave it as it is. Yeah, no worries, Science. Go. So I've reduced the letters in this, guys, and I've given you guys a bit more numbers to work with. Yeah, so when, sorry, Rahul. So the way I'm doing it today is if we are using question G, we're making G the subject. So for next question, I'll actually make H. If it's question H, we'll make H the subject, so on. Just to make things a bit easy for us, so I don't waste space. This is a good question. I think after this is the last question we're going to do with linear, guys, and then we're going to move into fractions, because there's a couple of more questions with like powers and stuff which we should cover, but that'll probably be another Rearrange 2 tutorial coming up. So this is Rearrange 1, this tutorial. All right, so if you got some answers, feel free to throw them up. And again, with the, as Ansh actually put the answer up before, it does help me when you guys put your answer, because I can actually see where your mistake is, particularly with these terms. And it's like really like little mistakes which you can actually work out with. See you later, man. Four minus 12. 6h over 6 minus h times 4 minus 12. All right. Nice. We've actually got 3 different answers coming up. That's really good, because that means we will. Yeah, that's a good idea, Ansh. But have a look through your working again. But I'm going to start doing this question very slowly, guys. By the way, this question, be very careful, because you can actually simplify it further. So have a look at the numbers and see if you can actually simplify it further. So I'm going to start working on this question. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is expanding the bracket. So I've got 4g times 6, which is equal to 24g. And then 4g times h equals negative 4gh. And this is all equal to 6h plus 12g. So I need to get the 12g to the left-hand side. So when I bring it to the left-hand side, it is going to become minus, because it's positive on the right-hand side right now. So it's going to become minus 12g. And I've got minus 4gh equals to 6h. The next step is 24g minus 12g is 12g, minus 4gh equals 6h. Next, I want to have g by itself, so I'm going to take g out as a common factor, which means I'm going to get 12 minus 4h equals to 6h. And I can see most of you guys did this. Corin, your answer is not going to work out because you've got g in your final answer. Like you've got g on both sides of the equation, so that's why it's not going to work. The next step is get rid of the 12 minus 4h, which means I'm going to get 6h divided by 12 minus 4h. Now, some of you might think, yep, I'm actually good, I can leave the answer here. But remember, I told you guys have to have a look at the numbers and see if you can actually if you can actually simplify it further. And in this particular case, you can, because what you have is you've got a bunch of even numbers here. You got 6, you got 12, and you got 4, which means you can rewrite this. I mean, you can actually simplify it further, because you can rewrite this as 2 multiplied by 3h divided by 2 multiplied by 6 minus 2h. And at this point, we can actually get rid of the 2 2's, and we're left over with g equals to 3h divided by 6 minus 2h. It's been timed out again. Now again, these are all merit questions. Made 4g the subject as first step and then did 4g minus 12. No. Because 4g is actually getting multiplied there, Ansh. So you can't actually take 6 minus h. No. That 6 minus h, when you take it to the other side, it has to get divided by all the terms. So it gets divided by 6h and 12g. The marvelous. I think the question that I've given you here is it's coming at like, yeah, I would probably say you probably need to simplify it further. Okay, so you guys want a question that's excellence. Yeah, Kenny, we can actually do it, but before excellence I want to do one more question that's fractions, and then we'll go to an excellence question. All right, so where's my space at today? All right, so we're going to go to question H at the moment. So with question H, this is what I would like you guys to do. And now we're going to start getting into a little bit tricky. So I might actually give you guys kind of an easy one to start off with, and then I'll actually go through this question with you guys so that you actually understand what's happening there. Now this one is not too bad, but the next one is gonna be interesting for you. So we're gonna spend a bit of time with this type of question today, because I'm gonna show you guys a couple of different variations with this one. So what I'd like you guys to do is make H the subject. So I want H by itself in this equation. I'm going to give you guys about another 30 seconds kind of to mess around with it, because it is a one-step, maybe a three-step equation. All right. Ah, you did it that way. Interesting. 12mx. Yeah, that'll work fine as well, Ansh. We're rearranging for h. So we're just rearranging. We're not actually solving anything. We're just rearranging this equation. So h is there by itself. All right, I'm going to do the first question, guys. And hang on, where is this? 12mx minus. I'm just trying to read your answer, Ansh. 12mx divided by 4x, right? 12mx minus 4xp divided by -3. Yeah, Daniel, Barber, Ansh, yep, all of your answers do actually work out, but you guys actually did quite a bit of work for that. I'm going to show you guys in a slightly different way. All right, this is how you do it. So remember, you want to have h by itself, right? So what you could actually do is you could actually move this entire thing. This entire thing you can actually move to the left-hand side, because when you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to get m plus, because that minus changes to a plus, h over 4x, and this is now equal to p over 3. Then the next step is h over 4x. Get rid of the m, so we can write this as p over 3. And because m now comes to this side, it becomes minus m. And then finally, get rid of the 4x, which means you got to multiply by 4x on the other side. So it's going to become 4x multiplied by p minus p over 3 minus m, and you're done. Yeah, so you didn't actually need to do the cross multiplication for this one, Anch, and I think the Marvelous, you did the cross multiplication as well. 4x, why do you have a 0 there, buddy? I think that was supposed to be 4xp, not 0. Oh, yeah. Now, your answer is, yeah, your answer is fine. Your guys' answers are fine. The only problem is you didn't need to cross multiply. No, you don't need to expand the brackets and simplify Rishita at all. You can leave it as it is. Because with fractions, right, that's the whole point about fractions. You don't need to actually, yeah, you don't need, like, what the other guys did was, like, they actually did, cross multiplication, which is fine. You can do that, but it's just a lot more work. Okay, so can I give you guys another question like this? But, actually, no, I'm going to give you guys the same question, but this time, I actually want you guys to make, so I'm going to give you guys H part 2, but this time I'm going to ask you guys to make X the subject, and I want you guys to try and do it in a slightly is this a New Zealand thing? Yes, Dark Ninja, we are doing NCEA level 1, which is from New Zealand. I'm not sure where you're from, but it is a New Zealand thing. And the reason I've chosen X in this case is because I want to show you guys another couple of tricks that will help you out in terms of, how do I put it? It does help you out in understanding how fractions work. That's alright, Dark Ninja. I don't think anybody here uses their real names. We all have our own code names. That's fine. Now, DeMarvelous, have a go, man. Like, try and mess around with it a bit. So Dark Ninja, if you have a look at my description of this particular stream, you'll find a website, and in that website you will find 1.2 algebra revision stuff. Go there, and there's heaps of my old tutorials are there, and past papers are there, skills, exam questions. There's a whole lot of junk there. You can go have a look at it. I get a feeling, Ansh, you cheated. You just rearranged from that last question, didn't you, Ansh? I wish financial jazz, but unfortunately it doesn't work like that. Rishita, I'm doing odd times at the moment because I've got a toddler in the house and he's sick. So I can't really guarantee that I'll be there all the time, but I'm trying to do it like 4 nights a week. But as we get closer to the exams, I'll try and do like 5. So I've got level 1s to do, level 2 and level 3. Is there answers on your website? I think all the questions, Anna, like just to have a look, I'll show you guys. So basically my website, the way I've set it up is if you go into level 1 and go into MCAT, they're all just links to the video, so they're not like questions or anything like that, but they're all links to all the questions that I've done and everything. So here's MCAT. So the skills has like all the basic skills you need. The live tutorials, that page gets pretty much updated every day when I do a live tutorial. So this was the tutorial from Monday that I did, and then all the tutorials I've done so far this past few weeks. So it's all in there. And then if you go into the exams, what I've done is I've actually done indexed every year and every question. So you guys can just go to that particular question if you want. So just click on it, and you should be able to go to wherever that question is on that video. Then there's also the MCAT prep playlist. So there's like 142 videos of questions that kids have been sending me for the last 3 years, and every time somebody sends me a question, I just put that in there and kind of just pile up that list. Yeah, there's some tables and equation stuff there, but I just haven't fully finished the website yet, but it is coming. It is coming. All right. Okay, look, let's actually do H2 because I know I kind of slacked off there. Sorry about that. Show some good. Yeah, Ansh, I know you did that. That's absolutely fine. Quadratic is the easiest, is right. Sid K. We'll find out, Sid K. All right. So what I'm going to do is I want to have x by itself, and I'm going to follow pretty much the same step as I did before. But the other thing that I can do also is I'm going to show you guys a slightly different method, because I know you could have actually done it this way as well. What I mean by this way is go from here and just rewrite that as h divided by 4 bracket p over 3 minus m equals to x. So if you had actually done that, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? Because if you look at it, you're trying to make x by itself, and because you're trying to make x by itself, that means you need to get rid of the 4 and p over 3 on the other side. So that's one way you can do this. Now I actually want to show you guys another method you could use. The other method is this way here. So I'm going to write this as I'm going to get rid of the p over 3 first, and when I get rid of the p over 3, I'm going to get m minus p over 3, because I'm bringing the p over 3 from the right hand side to the left hand side, which means the sign is going to change, minus h over 4 over x. All right, so here's the kind of like the cheat way of doing this. And by the way, this is absolutely fine. You can actually do this. Because m minus p over 3, we just put a little bracket around it. We can actually cross multiply, which means we can actually take the x and we can multiply it on the other side, which means we're going to get x multiplied by m minus p over 3 equals negative h over 4. How come we would bring the p over 3 sum instead of h over 4x? Campbell, you could have done h over 4x as well. It doesn't matter, but what I'm trying to show you guys is that with rearranging equations, you can do multiple different ways, man. You can do multiple ways to actually try and get x by itself. And so this is just, I'm just showing you guys like different ways in which you can actually get x. So my next step is simple, because I just write x is equal to minus h over 4 bracket. That entire m minus p over 3 is going to come into the denominator. Yeah, there's always a one level 2 guy that comes and crashes the party. No, Beckham, no, we're not going to use logs here. So there you go. That's another way of doing this question as well. So is that all right? What I've just done there is 4xp minus 3h over 12m right. 4xp minus 3h. Wait, if you're trying to bring x by itself, then why do you have 4xp? You shouldn't have an x there. So Rashita, 4x in line 2, I think you're talking about here. So this is something to actually remember, guys. When you have a fraction, and this part is really, really important. When you have a fraction equals to a fraction, you can do cross multiplication. So this is the same thing as saying AD times BC. This is the same thing as saying AD over B equals to C, or AD over BC equals to 1. So the cross multiplication is all the right ideas. Okay, now I know I've got a few people asking me, is my answer right? Is my answer right? So let's see. Corin, I think I'm going to go through your one first. So you've got x equals to 4 over x. No. So straight away there's something wrong, Corin, because you've actually got x happening twice. So that means you've actually done something, you haven't factorized something somewhere. So that's not going to work out. Is x low g? Let's try your one. X is equal to p minus 3h over 12m. P minus, that doesn't look right, because why doesn't it look right? Something is not making sense there. 4m 12m minus p. Wait. You're gonna get 12m. Nah, 12m 4m 12m minus 4p. Nah, that doesn't look right, Logi. Crypto 4h over p over 3 minus m. That won't work out as well. No, that won't work out because your 4 is not right in the right place. That 4's got to be in the denominator. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do one last question like this, and then I'm going to call it. But let's see. Yeah, we're going to do one last one. So we're going to do question I, and then we're going to actually call it. These ones, this one could be classified as an excellence because it is actually in the denominator. Well, borderline merit or excellence. But if you guys want an excellence question, I'm going to say this one here is an excellence. Try this. Yeah, Campbell, they always go up on the website. It goes on the channel as well. So this is going to be the last question for the night, guys. What I want you to do is I want you to rearrange so that I is by itself. My website, Demarvelous, it's actually in the description of the video. So guys, in this case, this is, was this an excellence question? I'm trying to think now. Yeah, this was an excellence question. Yeah, it's 1 on all the numerators. So you've got 1 over I plus 1 over j equals 1 over k. Oh man, that's classic cheekiness right there, Ansh. In all my years, Ansh, I would say that's the most creative answer I've seen, and you're actually, that's absolutely fine. That is super creative, yeah. No, I'll give you that one, man. I'll give you that one. Sorry, I don't know if you're a man or a girl, but definitely will give you the credit for that. Which question are you talking about, Rashita? Which question are you talking about for logs? Kaizen, I did major in maths long time ago. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go through this question. So as Ansh actually did this question, which was absolutely fine the way sorry, I don't know who it is. So yeah, the way Ansh did it was absolutely fine. But I want to show you guys one other step that you can actually do it. So again, these are a couple of tricks that's going to help you out, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to write this as 1 over I equals 1 over k. And because I'm taking minus 1 over j to the other side, it's going to become 1 over j. Now, at this point, what you need to do, what Ansh actually did was this. Just flip treated this as one term and rewrote it as, because this could be written like this entire bracket thing divided by 1. So what Ansh actually did was just flip the bracket now and wrote it as 1 over k minus 1 over j, which in all honesty, there's nothing wrong with it. That's actually absolutely fine. But I want to show you guys a couple of extra steps that will actually help you with questions later on, because if you do have to solve them, this method can get a bit tedious. So a bit of creativity there, nothing wrong with it, but I want to show you guys what else could you potentially do. So the way we've got to do it is, right now we've got two fractions on the right hand side, and we want to actually convert it into one fraction. So, and if you remember my tutorials on combining fractions, you've got k and j in the denominator. That means I need to multiply this by j and this by j. So I'm going to get kj as the denominator for the first fraction, and the second fraction I need to multiply by k and the numerator by k. So again, I'm going to get kj as the denominator in both of these fractions. So what I'm going to get is 1 over I equals j over kj minus k over kj. And because both of them are the same denominators, I can rewrite this as j minus k over kj. All right, and at this point, because we have one fraction equals to another fraction, what you can do is you can literally flip it upside down. So then this would become I divided by 1 equals kj divided by j minus k. Now, again, I divided by 1 is just I. We don't really need to worry about that 1 anymore, and we can leave it like that. Yeah, or you could do cross multiply as well. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'll actually explain Ansh's method there, Demavelas. So what Ansh actually did was this, right from this step. So you know how I said that if you have a fraction, a over b equals to c over d, right? So if you think about it like this, then you can rewrite this as b over a equals to d over c. That's how fractions actually work. So what Ansh actually did was from here, did 1 over I equals 1 over k minus 1 over j. But what Ansh did was basically treat this entire thing here as c, and then because that entire thing can be divided by 1, and that 1 treated it like d. So I hope you can see what's actually happened there. So that a then is that 1 there, and the b is the I. So basically that's how the fraction is now. So then you flip it, what happens is you're going to end up with I divided by 1 equals 1 divided by 1 over k minus 1 over j. So that entire denominator is like what that c is, and then the pink part is the d, which is the 1. The blue part is I, which is b, and then the a is 1, which is that there. So that's how That's what Ansh actually decided to do, which is fine because if you really think about it, it's just a reciprocal, but it's reciprocal of two fractions, which still kind of works. Well, Yeet, that's the thing about rearranging equation is that you can actually find shortcuts and you can actually find things your own way. If you understand the order of operations, then you pretty much can actually do anything you want, as long as it follows those set order of operations rules. All right, guys. What I'll do is I'm just trying to see if I can. Basically, what I'll do is I'll see if this actually works or not. Yes, it does. I found this. Today's questions is sponsored by this lovely page that I found. I'll put it up there for you guys. There's a link there for you guys, so there's more questions there if you guys want to go have a play around with it. All of them are pretty much, yeah, you guys should be able to do it. Or if you have more questions, then just let me know next time and we can actually continue with this particular sheet. Is there answer sheet from that website? Let me have a look. Changing the subject. I can't really see an oh wait. Yep, I do see an answer sheet. Hold on, I will copy that as well. There you go. Yeah, so those are the questions and answers. Yes, sorry guys, like today I kind of had a pretty busy day at school and I just didn't have enough time to get an Insta story out, but I will try and keep it a bit more alive next time. Instagram. Vladimir Miskovich, why does that name ring a bell? Yeah, so Ansh, we'll come back on Sunday. So we're gonna go Sunday, Monday, Wednesday for the next week tutorials. So that leading up to MCAT, we'll have like another 6 tutorials left over. Hey, look, Harry's here. Level 2 is usually at the moment is on Tuesdays, because yeah, it's level 2 is like, you guys don't have an exam straight up after that. Like right now, the priority is helping people out with the MCAT because they've got MCAT in about 14 days, I believe. So yeah, we'll try and squeeze in about six tutorials before then. Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday next week. Last year's MCAT, I can't remember, man. Like I thought it wasn't too bad. Yeah, because I remember doing apart from that excellence question for simultaneous equation, which was a little bit tricky. Apart from that, I think it wasn't too bad of a paper. All right, guys. Just before I head out, big favor from me: if you could subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and also let other people know about this particular channel, because there's a lot of Year 11s that are stressing out at the moment, and they actually don't know that this resource actually exists. So even if it means like just sharing my YouTube channel or the website, really appreciate it, because yeah, just ultimately I'm just trying to help people out. So yeah, that's pretty much it from me, and I will catch you guys on Sunday for the next level 1 tutorial. All right, as always, once I end the stream, I'll hang around for a few minutes if people have any questions, and then keep practicing, guys. Good luck, and I'll catch you guys on Sunday.